online today that it is Rachmaninoff's 150th birthday. So happy birthday, Mr. Rachmaninoff. What's the purpose of the baffle boxes? Some people prefer the baffle boxes, thinking they give a fairer, more random roll that are not subject necessarily to the vagaries of, how well or not so well individual players shake the dice and what have you. So it's, again, some feel more comfortable using the baffle box. It's an option that is up to the players. But Neil Kazaross on the right, playing the white checkers on the bottom, Jonah on the left on the player cam, black checkers at the top. Jonah's a extremely good player. Neil is a Hall of Fame member, all-time ABT points leader, the legend of the game. Whatever. Nobody would watch it. Just nobody. So anyway, so we've got getting started here. Rory's trying to make some announcements and getting people sit down and situated. So I got this loud speaking in my ear. So I apologize if I'm a bit distracted early on here. Set of sixes. That. And the 2 point, making the point. Yeah, whoever JVY11 is first, maybe, I don't know, first ever tournament in ABT tournament in Philadelphia is what, May 2nd to 5th or something of that nature. So that'll be great for people in that part of the country. There's a double by Jonah that Neil ripped the cube out of his hand before it could hit the playing surface. Neil way behind in the race, but he does have an anchor and a lot of play in the game. 5-4. So anyway, there's Mrs. Bubbles. I think where are you? Mrs. Bubbles is in Switzerland, I think. So we've got some European participation here. 3-1. So Neil he can make the forward anchor. He can make his 5 point. He can only make his 5 point. He's not under a lot of immediate pressure in the blitz sense. 6-3. Jonah's able to hit. Neil still yet needs that anchor. There it is. And it's the forward anchor that he would prefer, and he can keep that trailer back there on the 24 point to make it a little bit more difficult for Jonah to play in. Mishipu. Okay. I'm sorry? We're up to 63, so we're picking up fast. Always good to have Mishipu in the crowd. Yeah. Okay, so Jonah trying to he's going to make the ace. He could hit loose on the 4, putting a second checker in the air. Neil would like to get a second anchor. Well, that's Not a bad shake and hits a checker, although it didn't denies him the chance to make a second anchor in the short term. Yeah. Okay, Jonah's still, he has a greatly advantageous position. He's just trying to capitalize on that. Hasn't really been able to do so just yet. Still, he's stubborn. He's trying. 4-6. Okay, so Neil has managed to get the second anchor. So it's quite a bit of play in this game now. And Neil's got those, in a sense, buried checkers on the ace deuce 3. Set of 4s. So that moves a lot of freight. He can hit this checker out here. Then it's what other 2 4s does he want to play? He's going to bring it on along. Jonah, ace 6, was it? Yep. Boom. Makes that bar. It's a nice shake. Deuces. So what's Neil going to do here? He could make the 9. He could make the 4. Then he's got a last deuce to do something with, which will make the slot to 3. Decides to go that route. Jonah set of deuces himself. So he may make the 5 and the 16. I think keeps doesn't want to step all the way up from the 18 because he loses some of the pressure he has on Neil's checkers on the 12 and 13. So I think he's going to go to the 16. That is correct. So Jonah agrees with me. Yeah, Daphne, we were all on that page, I think. And okay, 2-1. So Neil, not much he can do with that. 6-2. Now Jonah, not much he can do with this. See? Six, 5. Okay. So Neil's managed to 5 and 4. Gonna have to go on with that. He was at a decided disadvantage early on in this game, but he's managed to recover and into a pretty good position. 4-3. That one's kind of ugly. We are speaking ugly. I guess he goes what? I don't know. No, that's not it. That's it. 10 and 5, I think. He's going to go on to the 7. Okay. Puts 2 checkers in play out there. Of course, it doesn't matter how many's in play if he's going to dance. Aces. That's very possible. Ryan thinks he's missing a lot of cubes here. Neil keeps dancing. Jonah keeps rolling. I guess, and it's gotten increasingly tougher now for Jonah to get this last checker out. He's down to 1 roll, and of course it's now Neil the 4 or 7. That's not it. Make the deuce point. Try to give Jonah more difficulty in clearing this last checker. Doesn't have it. So Jonah kind of dodged some bullets there. Oh, it was early on. The cube went. Okay. Yeah. Jonah's totally stripped, but no problem for the next roll or two. But then he's got some potential problems. 4-3. Okay, here's the key roll. 6-3 plays, so that's probably going to be 2 points for Jonah here. Looky here. The autofocus. Yeah, the one game rollout wasn't too attractive on that, Ryan, but I agree with you. Jonah, he might have taken it, but he wouldn't have found it exactly tasteful. Might have been nourishing, but it wouldn't have tasted very good to take that 4 cube. Five, 4. Neil's just got to run. There's nothing he can't contain the one checker with a single checker, so he's just got to try to ensure that he doesn't get gammoned. 2 sets Jonah needs. That's not one. Neil should beat this. He does. So 2-0 Jonah. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's.
That's why you saw that incorrect thing on screen too.
Yeah. Or he doesn't understand. Set of 6s. Huh? Yeah. Whatever you want to do. He got all day today and tomorrow to play 3 or 4 matches, so. Okay, 6-1. So Neil has made a lot of progress, and of course Jonah has that advanced anchor. Could have done it either way. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so Jonah's going to have to count this to see what he does with these 6s. Neil's got 84, 110, 111. Jonah afterwards has 39, 67, 91, 109, 119, 125. What did I say Neil had? 12 times 7. 84, 110, 111. So it's 111, 119, I think. Eric Peterson. Good morning, sir.
I don't keep a running count, but I
now Eric can make these early morning stream matches when it's in his own time zone, and when we're streaming early in Eastern or Central, and Eric's on the West Coast, it's not quite as convenient for him. Okay, 5-3, and Neil, it's all the contacts gone, so both of them are just going to be working on crossovers and distribution to try to most efficiently utilize the dice that they're provided. You can say Neil just working on nice, even distribution.
I guess double check.
Up to 89 viewers early in this first match of the day, so be sure and hit those like buttons. make Mark Olson and Galaxy happy. We appreciate their cooperation and letting us use the Backgammon Galaxy YouTube channel. Jonah lets that go. He's a fair amount down in the race and not so beautiful distribution either. So 2-1 Jonah. We also thank FM Gammon for as board sponsor. They provided a couple of boards for the winners of the 2 ABT events. One of those boards is on display on Stream 2 right now. They also make boards for Galaxy. So this Earth board is by my understanding, manufactured by FM Gammon as well. So we appreciate those sponsors. Yeah. Dimitri is in the house. Good morning, Dimitri. Nice, entertaining, fun match between two great players and great personalities in the game. Eddie Sawyer, there were 55 in the main and 64 in the intermediate, as I recall. So between the two ABT events, whatever that adds up to, 119. So, the little, probably 20% increase over last year's Las Vegas events, but the Las Vegas events have not totally recovered from the COVID era. Now this new venue, the Westgate Hotel and Casino, is quite nice. As you can see over behind me on the commentator cam here, big, spacious, high ceiling, bright playing room, and then adjoining that with a little pass-through walkway is the streaming room, where you can see on the player cam here, we've got the two streams set up, and there's a few overflow tables in the streaming area too. So some people are preferring to play over here because it's quieter. Car is panning a little bit just to y'all can see the entirety of the playing room. And she backs up now in the far right corner as you look now is Carol Joy Cole's Backgammon Boutique, and you can vaguely see an opening in the air wall down there by the boutique. That's what goes into the playing room. Jonah gets a big early advantage, cashes that.
What did you think?
And she's panning the other way. You see the director's table way down on the left, the brackets on the wall,
I believe you.
what have you.
I totally believe you. I thought it was close.
Well, it's funny that every commentator has their own style and techniques and this, that, and the other. Nick and I are good friends. In fact, of course, Nick, we contract with Nick to provide commentating services at our big tournament in Texas every year. But everyone has their own style. Nick's very good. Nick's probably more technically oriented than I am. I try to provide some technical perspective, but keep it a little more entertaining with information and stories and anecdotes and what have you about the various players, and do much more of an interactive commentary, involving people watching on the live stream as well. So to each their own. I like this. It's my style. Some people like it, maybe some don't, but that's great. Okay, 2-2 here. Jonah's got a 3-point board, and Neil is trying to get something going, but it's not working. threes. Now, what does he do with that? He could hit on the 9. He could make the 5 and come down. Yeah. There we go.
Yes,
Yeah, another thing that, and this is true for whether I'm doing commentary or Nick's doing commentary or whomever, guest commentators are great as well. Now, this morning, of course, everyone is playing, so there's not really anybody available to serve as guest commentators. But once things, kind of start taking shape in the tournament as a whole, we'll have any number of guest commentators. O'Hagan likes to commentate, Sachs, Woolsey on occasion, whomever. And I know at our tournament in Texas, or when we're in Chicago or wherever, people are, even in Atlanta 3 weeks ago, whenever. There's almost a fight for the mics sometimes. These guys love to do commentary, and I think that adds a lot to it. And of course, Ray does a lot of commentary, and certain people like that, Ray, Victor, Carter, Joe Urso, Ian Terry, that I'm, real good personal friends with. We can have some nice banter as well as, providing the commentary. So it's Marty's one of the best. Yeah, and then you look around the world. Michel Lamont is one of the best commentators without a doubt. So anyway, it's and it's good that you see different ones of us and different guests at different times, because it keeps it interesting. And I liked, if y'all saw from here in November, Zdenek Zisko was here, and he actually did a little commentary with me. And it's great for people to be able to virtually get to know some of these people who they may have heard the name, they may know the face, but to actually get to hear their perspectives and learn their personalities a little bit is really fun. Okay, so back to the match, huh?
Shipping money.
We'll get that order, Rob, next week. We've gotten, and it's funny because I think Tara puts a little notice on the Ace Point shop that we're going to be in.
I count everything. I don't need to.
Yeah. So anyway, we get a lot of orders, even while we're gone. Okay, so let's get back to this good match between a couple of good friends, great players, and great personalities here. Yeah, it's unfortunate that it conflicts with Montenegro. Montenegro, I've been over in that area a bit, but that we've not been to that tournament, and it's on our bucket list.
Of course you are.
Our bucket list is quite long.
But you couldn't. No, not this one.
Although as it stands now, we're planning on 4 overseas trips this year, all backgammon related. So, you can only fit so many in each year. We're we're going to the East Tovder tournament and the UBC contender tournament in 2 or 3 weeks in Istanbul. And although we won't be streaming, we are going to take some equipment and probably do some interviews and some travel log type stuff. And so hopefully y'all will find that interesting. Then we'll be streaming in Monte Carlo this year. We're going to be streaming in Dubai this year. We're going to Cyprus in the fall. And again, we won't stream that, but we will take some video equipment and do the aforementioned interviews and travelogue type stuff, and you know, just show the event. Okay, so this game has kind of, you know, it's interesting. Jonah had those 3 homeboard points early on and has been struggling to get much going subsequently. Neil has slowly but surely built a bit of a better structure, but he needs to. There's a nice 3-6. I was going to say he needs to short circuit some of the improvements that Jonah was seeking to make.
Again, when you have a 3-point board, 25% of the time I'm unhappy no matter what happens. That's the good thing about
Yeah, we can diversify into. Tara is an extremely good cook when she wants to do so. So maybe we can diversify.
So now you know what I thought was a top play.
And we need to include more so in some of our streams and videos our celebrity dachshund friend Guinness. Okay, so we're still struggling with this game here. Nobody seems to have much good fortune in advancing their game plans here. And, like this with Jonah. What do you do with a 6-2 here? I mean, he's leaving something somewhere, regardless. Okay, comes on around, but he has to leave the shot.
6-2. Didn't like it. Okay.
Yeah, maybe Neil can find something constructive with a roll. They both haven't found anything in some time. It gets the hit now. Maybe Jonah does find a tune that he could dance to. 6-2 for Neil. Let's just clean it up. Safety both of those, and he's going to go ahead and make the 4-point. Jonah picks up the blot. Okay, that's I guess you come across and make the 10, or you could play to the 4.
This roll isn't helping my.
Maybe you play to the 4 and gives you more builders working on the 2 and 3 here. He's going to even go a step further than that and slide on the 3. Nice Saturday viewing audience here. Pretty quickly into this first match. We're over 100 viewers, so we appreciate everybody's attendance. Hit that like button. And this is one option. The other option is to play to the 4, but he's gonna go a little bit bigger, 25% of the time. Jonah's going to dance, and that was one of them. This one's a drop.
I would bet it's not. I mean, what are your bad rolls? You got a point. What are your bad rolls? What are your bad rolls?
Oh.
Okay. Why are you doing?
Now I can't hear the player mics. I think watching the stream, y'all can perhaps hear a little bit of the banter. These guys are good friends and good-natured, enjoy playing. So there's probably a bit of not so much, trash talks, more just technical discussions about some of the positions that they've looked at. So
I'm not very good on too good and complex.
Anyway, we proceed on. Jonah's going to hit.
I don't play on enough.
Maybe step up in the back. I don't know. He's trying to find another one that. Okay, he'll play the 6-3. Justin Knoll is in the house. Now, there's another great commentator. Justin Knoll. I really enjoyed Justin. He's an extremely good player, good communicator, has a tremendous dry wit, which I find attractive. Tara and I kind of like to think that we discovered and introduced Justin Knoll to the world in Chicago. What was it, 4 or 5 years ago, Justin, when got him and Ian Terry doing some commentary for us and on some live streams, joining me as kind of guest commentators at points, and it just really worked out well. And I think Justin discovered his talent for doing that sort of thing as well. Okay, 3-1. Gonna come down.
Regretting my 4-2.
Put another builder in play. Yep. 6-2 by Neil. So again, Neil, it seems to be his tendency here in this match is getting some awkward, difficult roles to play. 6-1 by Jonah.
Keep doing this to me.
Puts 2 up. Always something good to be said about 2 up. Set of 4s will cure a bit of that. So he gets to bring him in as a forward anchor and make a homeboard point of his own. That's 1-2. Where to the other, maybe 3 down, I guess. Maybe 2 down. He could step up to the 5. This is Saturday, day of rest for Dimitri. Okay. So he kind of goes for the gusto here. Neil's going to hit 2. Jonah needs to roll a 5. Doesn't. Only gets one of them in. So Neil's going to get a little itchy trigger finger here. Jonah says no, thank you.
This was too good. We'd have a bet. I'll tell you when I think it's too good.
Was it illegal? I overlooked it then.
4-2 is score. 1. 5.
Okay. And you can see a style of play in both of these guys. It's been apparent in each of these early games. You know, there's been several occasions I noticed. There was one earlier here with a 5-4 perhaps by Jonah. But where many of us would make maybe a forward anchor with a 4-3 or 5-4 early on, we've seen in these guys eschew that to maybe attack forward blots by their opponent at the same time. So you get into this big, Neil rolls another set of 4s. You get into this big hitting exchange, which continues for a few rolls, and then the game kind of settles into a given flavor. Neil's going to send it again. I think, you know, and it's interesting, he's getting these early advantageous positions, but Jonah's, you know, showing some discipline in turning these down, and Neil just keeps throwing them at him. Now, at some point, the deficit's going to get such that Jonah's going to, you know, have to start considering some of these a little more closely. Well, we thank you, matey, for the kind words.
Don't dance. Calling his numbers isn't fair. It was close.
And two by Jonah. Now I guess, well, there again, he's attacking those slots, and on occasion getting away with it, which provides him great opportunities to more quickly develop a home board structure. So he has that now. 9, he could make the 4-point. He could hit over here. He could put another checker back. I kind of like making the 4 personally. Sooner or later, you got to, start. You got all your building materials in the yard here. You need to start building something.
There's 3 choices, actually.
Again, y'all are. I don't hear the table mics where y'all do, so y'all get to hear some of the exchange. Always be sure not forget. Don't forget to consider the 6 blot play here, Jonah.
I was only looking at hitting in that or 5-point. Or the 5. But the covering's fine too. Reasonable. Very reasonable. Oh shit. I would think no.
And okay, he makes the 5 points. So again, I had just seized immediately upon making the 4, but making the 5 is certainly a very nice option. And Neil rolls a 4-1, which doesn't enable him to hit that blot. Now Neil hits 2. Jonah needs to perform 3-2, but of course, because he had 2 up, Neil gets a return shot at a checker. There it's hit, and he has another 2 3s to play, which puts 2 in the air to a 3-point board. What would you have done with that 6-3, Dimitri? Okay, so Neil, another set of 3s. Now, what do we do with that? I think I'm coming to the 10 and maybe running out to the 15. Okay. And that's the thing for those of you viewing here today. You can not only listen to what I have to say, you can follow what's going on the board. Maybe you hear a little table banter by the players, but there's also some excellent players in the chat line viewing this and offering comments and perspectives. So be sure and follow that chat log as well and read what these guys are saying. You've got people like Ryan Rebello and Dmitry Obakov, Justin Noel, and others are here, and that's only another avenue of learning that you can take advantage of in these streams. This is like free lessons. It's like, I know Victor Ashkenazi is one of the best players in the world and a very good friend of mine. I know he's been kind enough in Atlanta last year and this year. I'm sorry, huh? Oh. So, but Victor, in Atlanta last year and this year, he's, done some guest commentary work with us. And, he laughs. He says, you people need to listen to what I have to say. I'm normally charging $100 an hour for lessons, and you're getting this for free. So,
Hey guys, remember,
okay. Okay, so Neil, he doesn't need 3 anchors, so he's just going to position that newest spare such that he can can run that checker when he might to, try to maybe recirculate a checker, save some timing. Jonah, with that set of sixes, is really well advanced. Now the question is he going to try to cash this, or is Neil's in a position that he can probably play on? Mr. B-Mac. What's up? Brandon Macklin sitting behind me here.
Okay,
Just a quick update over on Stream 2, Ergen Bayrak and Kit Woolsey, who are playing an undefeated bracket semifinal. It's, what did you say, 3-3? 3-3 to 15. So, and there's another undefeated semifinal going on. We've just got too many good matches to show at one time, but the other two gentlemen I'm not familiar with. One's Ronald Amorim, who I believe is from Brazil, and the other is, what's his name? Blake Sorum, who's apparently from San Diego area. I'm not familiar with him, as it does turn out. I have met him and getting to know him a little better because I bought the Calcutta team who Mr. Sorum is on, so he's my horse. Okay, now Neil, this is going to be kind of interesting. Neil would like to play this 2-3 game, but the question is, does he have enough timing to sustain it? If Jonah makes that 8 point, and then Neil, with some decent sized average rolls, it's going to end up collapsing, crunching his home board here. So I don't think he can take, just from more timing perspective than anything else. He does take it. Now again, I think he's going to get into timing problems, but let's see what happens. Mary Ann, one of our regulars. Hello, Mary Ann. Settle in, get in your easy chair with your favorite soft drink and some popcorn or chips or cookies or something, and just enjoy a day of backgammon. It's interesting, and that's what's great about backgammon. Here, me and Brandon sitting here, Brandon behind me, we both thought it was a no take because of the timing issues that could have developed. Dimitri and Ryan thinks it's far from a take, but then there's Neil took it, and a couple of other people saying they thought it was a take. So that's what's great about backgammon. There's always varying perspectives. And in, one game rollouts, which every game is, there's a tremendous amount of variance. But here's the problem. Neil's rolling big, and, he crunches next roll. That's exactly what we all thought was likely to happen. Okay, so now this is going to be kind of an interesting inadvertent trap play. And there it is. He has to run with the one that doesn't have the spare on it. So Jonah can attack that, perhaps. Not perhaps. He can take two in, or he could make the ace and slot. Neil doesn't have much of a defense. There's a little bit of a risk here, but yeah, there's a little bit of the risk, but Neil did not perform. But he can't cover the blot, so he has to give Neil another shot at it. Neil continues to dance. There's the 6-5. So now 3-4. Neil's going to make the ace point just in the unlikely event he gets a shot here. Not going to be soon if he does. And Jonah's intent on collecting on this gammon here. Neil would like to preclude that, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. He's got 9, 11, 13, 14 crossovers to save. Jonah's got 13 crossovers to win. 6-1, so one at a time is not what Jonah had in mind. So now Neil's still got 12 crossovers to save. 8-11, 11 for Jonah to win the G. Yeah, that was Hussein is doing some transcribing for us. Hussein Paknahad, great asset to Backgammon and on the Galaxy team and so forth. And he says it was a 400 pass. So that's some. Yeah, Neil's take was a 400 pass. This ain't going to do Neil's PR any good. It was a too good to double by .024. And hey, Abby. And 400 pass. Wow. It was slightly too good and just monster pass. So that's a rare. Yeah. So it's kind of a rare, from my experience, a rare miscalculation or misinterpretation of a position by Neil. And he pays the price. He gets gammoned.
Well, I thought I missed my market.
Yeah, I guess Hussein will be in Istanbul. Tara and I are going to be in Istanbul, and we've talked and Zoom calls and had a lot of exchanges with Hussein, but I don't know that we've actually physically met, so we'll be able to do so in Istanbul, and we look forward to that.
Generates so many shots. The problem is I got squeezed off of it.
3-2 is going to be the anchor,
I might have aired when
and we've got
for one to have a spare, but other times I need to get both pieces out.
got a nice close match here. Now this is a second chance match, so this is only an 11-pointer. Ergen and Kit are playing a undefeated bracket match on stream 2, and that's a 15-pointer. Uh-oh, Simone back in the room, wanting to wager on winners here. Always adds a little to the chat line and the broadcast. Simone, the Savannah Banana. You know, there's a baseball team called the Savannah Bananas. I always think of that when I see Simone. Sean says that in his mind, the take wasn't as bad as Double Plus says, but I kind of agree with Sean. I thought the biggest problem with that was the timing. You know, Neil had the 2 spares on the 3 or whatever that was, but he didn't have many rolls to maintain his board before he started cracking. If he couldn't, you know, if Jonah didn't break that 6 prime and activate Neil's spares, and that's exactly what happened. So nice to see Sean in the house this morning as well.
Nobody likes being on the 3.
Okay, so Neil snatches that up. It's not nearly as dire of circumstances as it was last time when he took that one, but
Could be a mistake, but
you know, Jonah's double nickels makes it a little more
lower than normal
difficult now.
because you get the 7 pass.
Neil could
I would have passed the position.
use a ace X, and X being a small number.
Close take here.
That's not it.
Have a better take.
And now Jonah ideally will make the 4-point and be able to start bearing in relatively safety. And he doesn't make the 4-point.
That's why I'm
Well, such is backgammon. Neil gets another lease on life here. Still can't capitalize on that blot.
not a man that was missing all of these. Now he's
So Jonah's going to try once more to cover it. This time he does.
I mean,
finally. You're only about
it's hard to miss.
you're
that.
only about 95% to make it all.
Well, we thank you, Sean, for the kind words. Tara and I are always trying to provide the best possible product for y'all's viewing pleasure following these tournaments. You know, the best possible product, and you know, as we can, the matches that we know that y'all would like to see, and that's one of these. There was some consideration of showing some other matches this morning, but Jonah Neal we thought was just
might lose this race.
a match everyone would enjoy and like to see.
Didn't think this was going to be the situation.
So
No checkers off.
Neal's got to run. He's going to beat this one. Maybe he gets a shot right here if Jonah rolls two big numbers.
Why?
Now this is interesting. Yeah, he can safety it this way. He could try to get a little greedy and take 4 off, but I don't think he's far enough along to realize any benefit from doing that.
Correct.
It's more fun, I said. I didn't say it was right.
Let me dance and show you some fun.
All right. Dance a few times.
No, just once.
No.
One
I'll
dan-
give you 2 dances.
I'll take one dance.
That we stagger. He agreed.
Here's a 3.
Oh,
Boy, is that stuck?
where is it?
That is stuck.
That one was seriously stuck in the baffle box.
I would have danced and been hoping to save a gammon.
I was beginning to think it had not gone through the baffle box and that they were going to have to go to the floor to find it or something.
You're claiming this game?
Okay,
I'm taking a bathroom break. 8-5.
so when is the final? The final's tomorrow, Ryan. Of course, this is a double. Don't forget to move the scorecard too. It's supposed to be what Jonah just won, didn't he? 2, so it's 8-5, I think. 8-5, yeah. Yeah, Jonah noticed it now, so he got it. Okay, very good. So, okay, so the final will be tomorrow afternoon. We got to finish the winners bracket here because the losing finalist of the winners bracket goes into the consolation, or what Rory's calling the second chance here. So, once the undefeated bracket winner is determined, they can go take a overnight nap or something, because there's several matches to be played after that to determine their ultimate opponent for the championship. So anyway, got a little respite here. I thought Tara was going to go in there and go to the dual bracket or dual stream display here. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. A gentleman walking toward the camera there, turning. That's this Blake Sorum, who's in the other undefeated semifinal. He and Ronald Amorim, who is a Brazilian player, I believe. There's Candace Miron. Candace sitting behind me. And she announced yesterday that there will be a BMAB event in Los Angeles in June.
Good afternoon, everybody.
It's actually Well, it's a good afternoon in most of the country.
Once again, you have a good turnout.
What, as far as viewers? And there we have, obviously, Kit and Ergen. Ergen's trying to fend off a G here, probably will. So it's going to be 5-3 Kit in that undefeated semifinal match on Stream 2. Yeah, he beats that. So, okay.
I don't know how familiar everybody is with Ergen Bayrak.
I don't know. He's a economics professor at
He is. He's
USC.
a professor of economics at USC and has been for quite a while. Obviously, that plays into his abilities at backgammon. He has won the California State Championship.
Okay.
So
and for a
he's
while, he was involved in, I guess, some of the running the clubs out there and even running the tournament at
he's
one year.
basically Patrick Gibson's backup for the weekly clubs.
Okay.
Plus, he's on the ratings committee for the federation. So all of the ABT ratings that you see are part of what that committee does. Ergen's on that.
There's Eddie Ballgame. Eddie Sawyer from saying hello to you from Anchorage.
Well, it's nice to say hello to Anchorage. Your buddy Ed right now. I'm sorry, Greg. Greg Miller is playing John O'Hagan right now. I'm not even sure he knows who John O'Hagan is, but that's his morning match. And I was recently in Alaska. There's a Facebook post about it. It's pretty interesting. And all I can say is I was treated like unbelievable royalty when I went up there. These people were amazing. If you
that's what's fun about the backgammon community, because Tara and I, as you know, we travel everywhere. And everyone knows us. Everyone treats us so nicely.
These people gave up their evening with their families to take me to dinner. I mean, they were amazing. If you have a chance to go to Anchorage, the Anchorage Backgammon Club is working really hard to grow and doing really well. They're just a great group of people. So nice. Kind of like Midwesterners.
Yeah. Or Texans, huh?
Or Minnesota.
Okay, so here we go. Neil's kind of taking a little break to regroup. Nice match going here. There's a nice shake. 1, 2. Now he's got to decide 3 and 4 to make the bar. Maybe no. He's going to make Jonah's bar, but he had his kind of like a drunk on Friday night. He had his choice of bars.
Usually the other one with double 6.
And he leaves that one and he gets hit.
Here.
You thought differently?
Well, you got so many ways to.
There's Hussein shouting out to you.
Oh, I have to look at this.
Hussein Paknahad.
Hey, Hussein. Simone Chama's on the chat. Hello, Simone.
Thinking about.
Dimitri is on the chat. Dimitri, we're doing a BMAB at the Los Angeles Open in June. I just added it yesterday. Ben Friesen will be running it.
You found one that wasn't?
Yes.
Nice job.
So that'll be Wednesday.
It'll be Wednesday
before the
June
tournament,
7th,
in
and we
effect.
have a cube.
You have a what?
A cube.
A cube?
We have cube.
Oh, here, you mean? I thought we were still talking about the BMAB.
I know, but
We have a cube. Jonah is contemplating this. Now, this is a cube from the air. Neil's in the air, but Jonah.
yes.
Jonah's got a bunch of blots in play. Lets it go.
Different scores. 6-8.
The score could be a small pass.
It could be, or it could still be a take.
Yeah.
It was your problem, not
I'm
mine.
trying to find you somebody better than me, which is everybody. So I'm working on it.
Well, you're a personality. So I've heard. Dimitri says. Have you determined yet how many people are going to play in the BMAB?
We can take as many as 24, but we have to know it in advance so that Benjamin brings the amount of equipment.
Right.
If I were to get a lot of walk-ins, some would not be able to play.
Right. That's the thing about BMAB, and various and sundry other events on occasion. Certain amount of equipment and labor is involved in getting this done. So you need to know, you need to have a good feel for how many people are going to be involved in advance. They do to the extent, I know in Atlanta, several people who played in the BMAB in Atlanta brought their own equipment to
Dimitri's on the chat. Maybe
to
he can clear it
supplement
up.
the equipment that Roberto had. I know Ian and a few others
Roberto
brought their
them
own
now.
equipment. So that enabled they had 26 on the BMAB in Atlanta. I think they had 22 in the BMAB in Cleveland last week.
I thought in your laptop in camp, right? Or you don't need a laptop.
No, you don't need a laptop. They just need a camera stand and a camera that has recording capabilities, typically a chip or, plug in a little chip. So, no, it's not bad at all. So again, that can, but it all has to be coordinated so that you know you're going to have enough equipment. In worst case scenarios, and it wouldn't be a problem in, say, Los Angeles as an example, because that's going to predate the tournament by a day. So you've got all the room in the world.
Yeah.
So room's not a consideration
No,
or a
not for
constraint.
this
Not
thing.
a
It's
constraint. Yeah.
It's just the people who are going to play.
Right. Okay. So Neil has had this penchant to get into some back games in this match, and he finds himself there again.
As an intermediate, the questions I ask they're going to be pretty basic. So is Neil now going to try to throw more blots out there for Jonah to hit, and Jonah's going to try to avoid hitting the blots?
Well, to not yet. I mean, yeah,
Okay,
timing becomes an issue. That's
Okay.
like one game earlier before you sat down. What, 2 or 3 games? A single game a bit earlier in this match, Neil had 6 back. But his timing was terrible because the 6 were trapped back, and he had to play all his other checkers, and he ended up crunching down. So if you can recirculate checkers to improve your timing, at times that's an advantage, and Neil might want to get hit, and Jonah might not want to hit him to give him that recirculation opportunity. So it's yes and no. It just depends on the individual game circumstances. But you can see that the extra, well, the 5th checker that Neil had, and now the 6th, ultimately the 6th checker, but the 5th checker, Neil has a spare on his forwardmost anchor, because that's the checker he wants to be able to run with, get out and run and burn some pips without having to break one of his anchors, right?
Did you know Tom Gilbert
Tom Gilbert?
was a high elite back in the Stone Age? That was my actual teacher. He would
I know the name, I guess, but
he'd throw himself into a back game and have blots all over the place.
It's interesting. Some players have made a name for themselves doing that. There's a player of infamy, shall we say, Shahab Ghazi, who's been banned from playing in Europe and many places. But he was he loved to get into these massive, huge back games, which he had refined over the years, and it was almost impossible to beat. And he would sucker people into these situations. After a while, some of the better players and people who played him a lot knew the tricks and knew what traps not to fall into, right?
Jonah playing the 6-4, whether Jonah feels he needs to pick up the blood, Neil's bar point or not, will be something. Okay, so now he feels he needs.
Let's see, that perhaps Yeah, see, Neil can run, so he's going to recirculate that checker. He doesn't want to
Got it.
play forward. If Jonah could contain all of those checkers and make Neil have to play down here, then Neil's going to not have the potential for a homeboard. But looks like Jonah's going to be forward enough that Neil's going to be able to circulate his excess checkers and save his timing.
As you see your opponent going into a backgammon, you don't double.
It depends on the
Apparently
timing, not
not, 'cause
necessarily.
Jonah
It's
hasn't.
like here, you can see Matt says at this point, Neil's a favorite. Oh, that's Alex Shagan here.
Alex Shagan is starting to be a real force in backgammon.
That's good. Alex, I've known him
He just
to a
works
limited
too hard.
extent over a long time, and it seems like a really nice guy. He's a dermatologist, I guess, or
No, he has a skin clinic. He's
skin clinic. Okay.
Yeah, big time. And his own line of products.
And see, this is it's in L.A. Alex is shaking. I guess in L.A. or Beverly
He's
Hills.
a Los
or
Angeles
somewhere.
player. He lives in the valley.
Yeah. So see, now you can see with this 2, 3, 4 game, this is an impossible bear end for Jonah.
Yes.
Right? I mean, he doesn't have much flexibility in what he can do. It's almost every play is forced because he can't play with certain checkers. He can't play to the 2, 3, and 4. So
Right.
there's only certain 6s he can play. There's only certain 5s he can play. There's only certain 4s he can play. And Neil's got great timing. And, as Matt said, even several rolls ago, and it probably still stands, Neil's probably a big favorite here.
Not bad.
Urso is in the room. I'm glad you could wake up.
Get by this roll. I'm going to have to break the
Before a hit. Now, see, now at some point, Neil's going to give up
A forward
one or
point.
more of these points because that can force.
And which will he give
that
up?
can,
The forward
well,
point?
He wants to force Jonah to play a 1 or a 2 or something, right? Right now, Jonah can't play a 1 or a 2.
There he goes.
Or he can't. Yeah, so he wants him to have to play to that point. He's figuring out now what's the best one to do, right? If he moves off let's say he moves off to the 3-point back there, then Jonah, he rolls a 2 or a 3, has to hit that checker and leave
Okay.
a block.
Yeah.
So you force his play.
So what Neil's thinking about right now is which point to come off.
Which point to come off. Or whether he needs to come off yet. But sooner or later, he's going to have to come off because you got to make Jonah play. And, like if you come off the 3, and obviously Neil's immensely better at this than I am. But if you come off at the 3, then if Jonah rolls a 2 or a 3, he has to play there. Right?
Still a lot of builders.
Yeah, Matt.
I think I'm supposed to keep it.
He says he would break the 21. But see, this is a
I know I saw similar. It was like,
this is a great instructive game. This particular game is really a lot to be learned here. And and we've got Matt and Dimitri and Joe and Ian and Justin Noel and others here to help us somewhat. And see, right now, yeah, you gotta make him. You gotta give him numbers to play, right? That he doesn't want to play.
this is make that and get out. What out here though? This goes.
Okay, so there, Neil. So now a deuce he has to play there. A 1 he can stack. See, or take it off even, but he's already played the 6. I think I would have, and maybe I'm not wrong, and Matt and Neil are a hell of a lot better than I am. I would have come off the 3-point so that he had to play 2s and 3s. But
That's a good comment.
yeah, that's a good point right there. That if now you can take one off.
Need to keep the ace.
Okay, now now I may leave off the 3 now, right?
I think I need to stay there and maximize my hits.
Neil could potentially even take both spares out, right, and just leave 3 blots, and Jonah rolls a 3-4 or something, and you'd have to hit 2 blots. That worked out well. That Neil had not emptied the double 3 would have been a killer play.
Whether you cover. Covering good.
Yeah, playing that ace from 6-5, the last spare was, everybody disagreed with that. 5-4.
Oh, wow.
That's a nice shake
Whoa.
there.
It's got to be 2 of it.
I think you got to make the 4, Jonah. He hadn't said yet. I think you got to make the 4, because if you don't, Neil's going to take those extras out of there and make Jonah play 2s, 3s, 4s. Urso makes the 4. Daphne makes the 4 100%. Oh, that you cannot do that.
Aces we can play off. And force it.
Maintain the 6. That's my question.
Yeah, could you, Joe Urso, what do you think Tar's asking? Could you make the 4 and maintain the 6? I think you just go shift from 6 to 4, personally, but
Yeah.
Matt says not 100%. He's not 100% sure clearing the 6 is right.
I don't know.
Mr. Wynn, certainly. Join. Huh?
What round is this?
I can
This is
activate all kinds of.
Oh, wow.
look at this. This is a consolation or second chance bracket, round of 16. And Neil's had this immense back game, and here we are.
Jonah rolls a
He's
3-2. There's going to be a
now,
relationship problem.
If Jonah rolls a 2, a 3, well, he rolled a 3-1, which he could handle. But, if he rolls a 2 or a 3 or things like that, he starts blotting.
Pardon me?
He was round debate.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. This is David Wynn on my right here from Austin, Texas. Championship level player in the tournament here.
I keep looking for the champion to take my chair.
Okay, so there's the shot. Neil's been waiting long and hard for that shot. Now he'd like to hit it, or if not, he'd like to roll a deuce.
And he does.
hits it. So now he's got a very good chance of picking up another checker.
Right. And when does he have the cube?
He's got to have another checker.
Oh, there's 6 checkers, 7. Okay. Jonah has 7 remaining.
He's got to have another checker. But he's going to play it so that
Yeah.
if Jonah enters with a 1 and 2, then Jonah's got to play up there and may leave a blot with a 2 or something. Or even a 1, since he can't be bearing off while over here. So
Alex
Jonah's,
says there won't be a cube for a while because of the 7 checkers that
yeah.
Jonah has.
But if he can get a second checker, though, it'll be a lot sooner. And Neil just wants to stay right where he's at with those back checkers. He wants Jonah to come in. Well, I'm surprised that he went ahead
wouldn't
and
have
made
done that.
I wouldn't have done that.
I wouldn't either because you make the
think that's a
7th
big
point and then
mistake. Yeah, I
split
think
your
that's a
1 and
mistake.
2.
Yeah, you want him to come in.
Why are these good players making these mistakes?
So after you have worn on 5 checkers, then you're
I don't understand how Neil did that. Made that 2 points.
considering
If you do it next year, you'll find it was a mistake.
I think you're right. Okay, Neil still needs to he wants Jonah to come in. Yeah, to make, well, what was that? That was back on the double aces. I'm not sure. Neil needs Jonah to see there. He finally rolled a couple of deuces,
know.
but Neil had made the, and now he has to break because he can't. This is interesting. 1, 2, 3, and play 3-2 or 4-2.
I want to slow down. I just soon get hit.
Okay, but that. No, maybe so, but man, he didn't fish for all of it, really, for that second checker.
You know,
Never went fishing for it, and he had all kinds of opportunities to.
That go through?
You dropped. I wasn't watching.
And you're going to gain a.
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
I don't know if you ever get to where you can go.
Jonah's saying you blew it. What did you do?
Neil's thinking about doubling.
Thank you, Kip.
I'm sorry. I did introduce David Wynn, Austin, Texas.
Who's watching?
Watching.
No, who's watching?
Who is watching?
Yeah. The world or just a few people?
Yeah,
And-
150 people all around the world. Some of the top
Wow.
players: Matt Kungard, Dimitri. Look at here, double sixes. So after that,
My goodness.
this might be the cube here. Okay, now let's count it. Neil's got this,
Now.
but that's
5-4.
10 crossovers.
I would have done 5-4 there. I don't think it matters though. I think it's
Yeah,
doubled out.
I think he cashes here.
Alex saying he lost his market.
Yeah.
Well, here it goes. Now we'll find out.
Okay, so see, Neil's got 10 checkers to get across, right? Somebody stumbled or tripped behind us there. Thought somebody was going to fall, but they caught him. Okay, so 1, 2, he gets 2 to get in there. 8, it's about even. But Jonah had misses.
okay. Can we get 24?
Thank you. I think I have a match.
Okay.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Tapio Palmroth, who's a Finnish, I think. He was laughing. Neil's a desert man. There's no fishing in the desert. But he managed to win the 2 points anyway. And that was and you came in late on it, but Neil had a 2-3-4 back game for a long time. That was a really instructive game for people to study and watch.
Oh, good.
Of the that was I think one of the best games, streamed games I've seen in a long time from a perspective of what people could learn from it. Oh, that's interesting. Alex Ashigin says for our information, he's working on a book on back games. Well, I'm sure you may want to interview the infamous Shahab Ghazi, who again is banned from play in many arenas at the moment just because of his behavior. But he was the god of back games. Okay, Tara, just give me an update on the Stream 2 match, which is the undefeated semifinal, one of the undefeated semifinals. Kit Woolsey leads Ergen Bayrak 6-4 to 15 in that match. This is an 11-point match, second chance match. Ooh, a nice dance. Now, is Neil too good? Or does he play on? Or cash it, I mean. Thank you, Joe, for running that. That's quite interesting. Joe said that the correct play on those aces back there was to
Double fours and then I dance. There's no take in there.
I thought I was close to 2.
clear the 6 and take 2 off.
Definitely not a take.
It might have had
Making the
double
4 was a 240 blunder.
Obviously doubled if it was 7-9.
Well, that'll be an interesting one to go back and study because there was immense things to be learned from that particular. That was the game before this immediate pass one, Steve. So at 8-5, I guess it was. Neil had a 2-3-4 back game and went on forever. And there were some incredible decisions to be made as to how to bear in against that back game and how to play that back game. And terribly, I thought, interesting, exciting, and illustrative game of a lot of backgammon or back game techniques. I think it was the 8-5 or 7-5 game. I'm not sure, but you'll find it. It's a 2-3-4 back game Neil had, and even at one time had two extras, so he had 8 back. And also, when you watch that, Steve, watch it with the chat line, visible to you, because Matt and Dimitri and Joe Urso and others were making some, Ryan Rebello were making some, very astute observations and opinions related to how that game should be played.
It's an easier game to play so far. Yes, it's easier to play.
But that game, and Matt and Joe and them are still talking about that game and some of the options there. That's one that even the best players, the Matts and Joes and others, that's a game that all of them can go to school on. And
Jonah's got magic arm.
I got to play it for the transcribers.
Jonah already picked up his pen.
Pass.
Pretty good when your opponent
It just doesn't, after that roll, it doesn't matter what you do.
sends you the cube and picks up his pen. It might be a clue.
That wasn't a very hard one to figure out.
Yeah.
That's why I played it. Fair. I don't want her to have to guess.
What did he do?
Or whoever transcribed it have to
Well,
guess.
she might not know. It doesn't matter what you do. Right.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So 9-8 Jonah, 2-away, 3-way.
4 shakes.
Now, since this is a double elim tournament and this is a second chance match, the loser goes to consolation, which is in effect the last chance, and can no longer win the tournament. The winner advances in the second chance bracket and still has an opportunity to win the tournament.
Wrong. What hits? What's block that hits?
1-6.
Yes. Not that many shots. I'm doing that.
Tim, if you want to see the best game of the weekend or the week, go back like 3 games in this match and watch the game that Neil Kazaross played the 2-3-4 back game, and just incredibly interesting and instructive game.
Got out, huh? That didn't even had to stop here.
Apparently, Joe and Matt and them are still discussing that double one play, and they're saying it more so than perhaps any position they've ever seen XG between like 3-ply and double plus, and the variations are just huge.
Huh. Gotta look at that. I'm not sure. That was I think I walked in. You know,
Just during that play, I think. Yeah.
76, 89. I'm down 5 hits. Doesn't look like a double. No, not a double.
Okay.
That is
Like double plus, like what Neil or Jonah actually played, which was 6-4-2, and Matt says on a rollout that's the 4th best play. Most interesting. You can just run the video back and look at the actual position, Joe, when you get the opportunity. I'm sorry? Yeah. Oh, man. My horse lost in the undefeated semifinals.
looks like a double. Let me count it.
It plays the winner. They're going to hit after we're doing that.
What? No, Amarim and whoever wins Ergen Kit. Yeah, that definitely. Then you'll have to find a second chance match also. See who David Wynn's playing.
I'm just counting myself without your hands in the way.
what are you saying?
Thank you. No,
Oh, we're talking about our next streamed matches. In the undefeated semifinal match that wasn't streamed, Ronald Amarim I think he was from Brazil. Ronald Amarim defeated Blake Sorum. So Amarim is in the undefeated final and will play the winner of the Kit Woolsey Ergen Bayrak match, and that will be our next Stream 1 match. And we'll be finding another second chance match to stream on Stream 2. Ian, boy, you've missed it, son. You've missed it. You need to go back about 4 games here. I think it was 8-5 Jonah, maybe 7-5 Jonah, and Neil played a 2-3-4 back game that was just for the ages. You have to go back and look at that. Now this is kind of an interesting. It should be fairly easy to count. What's that? 66, 75, 81, 44, 59, 70. I think Neil's quite a bit ahead.
I would double this.
Yeah, I would double this too. He's way ahead.
not
Neil,
going to.
Neil. Stop shaking your hand like you're gonna put those. Oh, I can't believe that. And of course he rolls like shit. So
Maybe he knows something we don't.
yeah,
His abilities.
Jonah, same roll though, so it's even crappier for him. He didn't get anything off.
What is Neil doing?
I don't know what he's doing. Does he? Maybe he can't think it's Crawford. I mean, I don't think.
This makes no sense.
Man. And the score even more dictates that,
No kidding.
right? I mean,
We're going to think some of the older players are starting to have some dementia.
and now he finally, like I said, Jonah snaps it up.
What's the pip count?
4 pips, right? Yep. Had the double.
32, 30. He was, I don't know, he was down 7 or 8 pips, and then that got that terrible roll there. Jonah's missed like what, 3 different, taking 3 checkers.
Well, you got a
off.
double 4, and it didn't help him that
Did not
much.
play. Okay, so
Okay. Don't worry about
we got lost again. There you go, 6-3. Another
Double
set
four
of
again.
non-playing, rolled 2 sets of non-playing double 4s. But Neil plays nothing off too.
Neil's got a pretty strong advantage. Enormous.
6-1. Oh, perfect. 5-1.
I will try not to play a back game this time.
Who's the comedian? Comedian.
4. 4 away, please. Thank you.
Okay, 10-9 Crawford. Neil. Jonah needs a natural G here, and that's what he'll be playing for. Neil will be playing Gammon Save. Up to 170 viewers this morning already. Okay. Well, they're still rolling out that damn position, talking about it.
Need to go back and look at that, whatever it was.
But the whole game was,
What game was it, number 3 or 4 or something?
it was either 7-5 or 8-5, Jonah.
Okay.
But the whole game was like that. But that one double ace was really a tester.
I had my player in a back game yesterday. 6 guys back, broke his board down to the 1, 2, and 3 point. It hit, and I rolled double 1s 3 times, and he beats me in a race. Barely. 6 guys back. It was not a happy camp.
Yeah, Daphne, that's a thought. I'll try to grab one or the other or both after the match. They'll be coming out right over here by me, and maybe we can have a little discussion of that play.
I don't like it. I get better now.
And this is, and it's funny because
I don't like it. I can't split.
Tara and I debated hard and long, and we actually caught a little flack about which match we put on stream 1 today.
Point, I like it.
But this, in retrospect, now this has been an extremely exciting and entertaining match, which is what we thought it would be. And two well-known players, well-liked players, very accomplished players, and it has been a most interesting and entertaining match.
You're not get blitzed. I'm not going to get blitzed yet. Yet is the key word. Yet is the key word.
Okay, so here again, it's Crawford match at 1-away, 2-away. Jonah wants a G, and Neil does not want Jonah to get a G. Neil would like to win, first of all, but secondly, if he doesn't win, he doesn't want to lose a gammon.
Make 5 point here.
I think that's I agree with you. Make the 5 point and just.
What's everybody say with this?
Matt says hit here. No, Matt, that was the earlier roll. Matt says 5 point. So. As long as Neil doesn't roll a 6, that's awesome.
strong.
Pretty strong.
She should.
Because then he attacks on the ace.
Superb play. Thank you. I mean, this is. I don't know if there's audio here, but this is a beautiful play.
And Neil knows it, so he's really going to shake those
Doesn't mean
dice.
I'm not going to get a 6, though. Where are you? Nowhere.
Uh-oh. Now
Yeah.
it's open hunting season for Jonah and going from that checker on the ace. There it is. But he's got just it's kind of awkward. I mean, could have been better, right? He could have got a checker out. He could have been where he didn't have to stack those 2 spares.
This may be a gammon.
Could be.
Well,
He can't cover it.
Release the small.
Neil can't roll an ace and Jonah can't cover.
Not happening.
Bet he covers this time.
You got me.
Boom.
he's going to play for a gammon too, hard.
Oh, absolutely. And Neil's got what? 9 outside cross, or even more, counting the one that's. I mean, this is.
Put it back.
Unless Jonah were to get unlucky and get hit, I think this is a G.
Okay. I'm pretty sure.
Thank you.
I know that.
Concur.
Thank you.
I gotta be honest. Came out the same. Okay.
Take off 2.
You think anyway?
Yeah.
MCG says it's going to be relatively close. Yeah, I mean, it just.
Take off 3. 1 and 6, and then the 2
Yeah,
points.
you're correct.
3 point.
Yeah, I think. I don't know that it's just a matter of how quickly Neil enters once Jonah clears something.
And Jonah's worried about losing 2. So I take 3 off every single time.
Never blink.
Well, in this position, I would.
Yeah.
Could take 2 off and do that.
And with the, at this position and at this score, take 3 off every time. Or
On this position, I might not, depending upon this.
where you need the G.
You're going to do it.
Everybody says, well, I say that. Matt says take off 3 or clear the 6. I think you don't clear the 6. Eric Peterson's with us. Take off 3. Got to play for the G. Just.
Oh my
Oh man, are you kidding me?
I mean, just you come in right. If you come in right.
And now he's odd on the back
I know,
too.
it's a terrible play.
And if I don't come in, you got 9 bad numbers.
Somebody needs to run that XG and see how big an error that was.
But
Yeah.
bad numbers take 2 more pieces off, and this allows you to keep a 5-point board longer.
Yep. I was just like, I gotta take a piece.
I agree. That's a nice play.
Dimitri wanted to take 3 off. Who's another great player. Okay, he may save it right there.
And now you got a way more chance.
Wow, that's
What a swing.
he never gave himself the chance to win the G.
I know, what a swing.
Go to
He
the
can still win the
3
G
to-
if he rolls a double.
yeah. Play to the 10. Give yourself a good 4.
Probably that.
That's possible.
Already?
Got to have one on the 5 ultimately.
More wastage later. That I'm pretty sure. In spite of getting a 6 that crosses the line here, you might not roll said 6.
Two, three, 4. It's getting more and more likely that he's gonna save. Got to take the crossover. Jones had a couple of plays in this game and that earlier game that he may lose some sleep over in retrospect. Okay, he plays 11-9. I thought he might have taken the crossover, but 5-1, that's 2 of
Better
them.
for that roll.
Worked out better there. 3-1. He's going to save it. In all likelihood, he's going to save it. I wouldn't have given you much for his chances.
Is he going to be able to run that on XG and find out?
And live
It is not allowed to be live streamed. Oh.
One more game.
Okay, what a game. What a game. What a match this has been. What a match. And now we're to the last game, regardless. We're to the last game. We're up to 186.
We talk a little bit.
Nice on a
Animosity between the 7.
Saturday morning.
Incredulous.
That double 3. I like that. Tim Sullivan says the good news for Jonah is his blunder won't matter 50% of the time. I like that, Tim. That's a good line.
Me. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Too many pips.
2. The score is currently 9-6. Arrogance leading. So basically, those strings are going to be tied up because we'll be moving strictly.
Okay. At over on stream 2, which is the undefeated semifinal, Ergen Bayrak leads Kit Woolsey 9-6. You said 9-6. That's
I actually like
a
that
15-point match.
Okay. That's the pure play.
This has been an incredible match.
I understand. Well, you might not hit me.
This is one to go back and
You might not hit me.
replay and
You might not.
kind of study it.
He'll make the 4 point.
I could be wrong. Look at it later.
Yeah.
Someone was looking for our son.
I was trying to stop you making pips, making points, but
No, I get it.
sometimes you dance.
He wants to make the 5.
It's kind of. He knows he's supposed to make the 5.
I'd
He
make the
wants
5
to
here.
Make the 5.
I would have made the
Oh.
5 there.
Everybody plays.
Trying to do that.
Nobody said anything. Well, the only
Starting to get dicey.
he's getting way out ahead of himself, though. He may get burned with the Wilbur back here.
Jonah better come up a little bit real quick.
Uh-oh.
Time to do that.
Now Jonah gets burned.
He's fixing to get burned.
Can't help what you get.
But Neil can't come in at all. Jonah needs to. Okay, that's the first step. He has to have a 6.
Oh!
Kazaross.
Had to have a 6 right then.
Good looking position. While you're never moving.
No, he's
Oh.
come 6 to 5.
About this. Thinking about this.
He's got to close the gap.
Don't give him the aces
Yeah. Here.
and close the gap.
Isn't close.
You like it?
It's a lot.
I saw it.
2 reasons, right? David's point, you close the gap. You don't give him the freak
These
double
guys do
aces.
this just to screw with us.
No, I don't want to be hit, do I? That's for sure.
Well, but I agree. The gap is the overriding problem, but the aces is a problem too.
Gambling forever. Kind of scary.
Ooh. But he can do that.
It wasn't double 3.
You didn't ask.
Potential double bladder from there, though.
Call your opponent's numbers. After the fact.
So Jonah's error didn't matter.
Yeah.
Put it back.
Well, she might still hit him in the barrel.
I agree, Tim. This has been unbelievable. Okay, it's getting more and more unlikely, but not impossible. Okay, he's odd on the back. Neil's got enough timing to sustain that ace the game as long as he wants to. At some point, he leaves to. If Jonah only has, look, there it is. There it is. The shot.
And I got a 2.
Boom. What's up next? We're going to switch over, bring Stream 2 over here, Ryan, which is the undefeated semifinal between Ergen Bayrak and Kit Woolsey. And the winner of that plays Ronald Ameren in the undefeated final. That'll be on. And then, okay, the Coup Classique position. Neil needs to get one of them out of there. Here's the infamous Coup Classique. If Jonah rolls an ace, Neil has a shot at 2. He only has a shot at 1. Oh, the match is over. That was a match, friends. 192 viewers right now. That was a match. Man. That was one of the best ones I've had the privilege of commentating in some time. That was unbelievable.
That there was some
And they
caliber of play.
at that caliber of play, and they weren't in time problems. You know, it wasn't like they were rushed. Wow.
Playing more tournaments.